When a sharp-eyed dog sees a cage partly in the water, she quickly goes to check it out, but what's inside the cage is really sad and will definitely bring tears to your eyes. Jennifer Vaz and her boxer dog, Molly, lived in a peaceful town surrounded by beautiful scenery. They loved going on long walks by the river, where Molly could freely explore without a leash. Molly often ran ahead, but would always return to check in with Jennifer before running off again. However, one tragic day, Molly didn't come back immediately. She had noticed something in the water near the river's edge, a cage partially submerged. Molly climbed onto a nearby rock, sniffed at the cage, and seemed anxious. It was as if Molly sensed that something important was inside and let out a soft, worried whine. She felt a strong urge to help. Molly hurried back to Jennifer and began barking persistently, trying to convey what she had discovered. At first, Jennifer thought Molly wanted to play a game. Jennifer bent down to pat Molly on the head and picked up a stick from the ground, throwing it away from the river. She knew Molly could swim, but the river's current was strong, and she didn't want to take any chances with a risky game. However, Molly didn't even look at the stick. She was still barking frantically, her eyes fixed on her owner as if she was trying to talk to her. When she realized that Jennifer didn't understand her plea, she rushed back to the riverbank and looked at the cage from where she was standing. However, Jennifer couldn't see the half-submerged object and still thought her puppy was playing a game. But then Molly ran back towards her, barking even more loudly and jumping up with her mouth open, trying to catch the hem of her shirt sleeves. She was usually a quiet dog, and this unusual behavior piqued Jennifer's curiosity enough to make her come off the usual path and follow Molly. At first, the dog walked briskly, but then broke out into a run, hoping her owner would keep up. Jennifer could sense the urgency in Molly's movements as she sprinted towards the river, a mix of concern and determination in her eyes. Instinctively, she continued to follow her curious dog, intrigued yet ignorant of the heartbreaking discovery that awaited them. Arriving at the river's edge, Jennifer looked around. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, and everything seemed normal. But it only took her a few moments to notice the cage half submerged in the water a little further down the bank. Molly bounced onto a rock beside the partially submerged object, her nose twitching with a mix of curiosity and worry. Jennifer drew nearer, her heart rate quickening as Molly emitted a soft, worried whine. Intrigued and concerned, Jennifer slowly approached the water, her gaze fixated on the source of Molly's distress. What was it about this cage that was so concerning? At first, Jennifer failed to discern anything unusual in the slowly rising waters. However, as she continued to peer at the discovery, something caught her eye, and her heart skipped a beat. There, trapped within the cage, was a dog fighting to stay afloat. Panic washed over Jennifer as she comprehended the horror of the situation. It was clear that the trapped dog's strength was waning and time was running out. It was completely still, and only a few movements of its eyes and nose gave any indication that it was still alive. Jennifer held back tears as Molly's worried whines got louder. Without hesitating, Jennifer waded into the water, her determination overriding any worries she might have had. She battled against the resistance of the water, her hands trembling as she struggled to free the cage from its watery prison. Twigs and reeds were holding it down and pinning it in place. Finally, with sheer determination and strength, she managed to dislodge it from the riverbed. Jennifer lifted the cage up and carried it to the bank before opening its doors. The exhausted dog inside collapsed onto the riverbank, gasping for breath and shaking. Molly worriedly sniffed at the other dog and walked around it, as if she were trying to figure out how she could help. Of course, there was nothing she could do right now. It was down to Jennifer to save the poor, half-drowned dog's life. Without a second thought, Jennifer gently picked up the weak dog, cradling him in her arms like a fragile baby. She could feel how cold and exhausted the poor thing was, and it brought tears to her eyes. With Molly by her side, worriedly looking up and keeping an eye on things, they raced against the ticking clock to reach the nearest veterinary hospital. The journey felt like an eternity, and Jennifer silently prayed for the dog's survival. For days that stretched into weeks, a team of dedicated veterinarians worked tirelessly to nurse the rescued dog, now named River, back to health. Their efforts were infused with determination and hope, but the odds seemed insurmountable. Moments of doubt would creep in, but they refused to give in to despair. All the while, Jennifer kept in contact and asked for constant updates on River's condition. It was clear that she cared deeply about the dog, as did Molly, who clearly understood the gravity of the situation. Gradually, and against all odds, River's condition began to improve. His once frail body regained its strength, and a spark returned to his eyes. The road to full recovery was long and arduous, but Jennifer's belief in miracles remained steadfast. Each small step forward filled her with an overwhelming sense of joy and gratitude. What remained a mystery, though, was how River had found himself in such a terrible and cruel condition. Well, after Jennifer shared the story of River online, authorities started to look into the case. They discovered who River's previous owner was and promptly issued an arrest warrant for a 36-year-old man named Aaron Davis. He surrendered himself to the police after the story went viral. He explained that he had grown tired of him, but instead of doing the humane thing and surrendering him to a shelter, he had decided to put him in a cage and abandon him in the woods. River's frantic movements must have sent him tumbling down the bank into the water. Even if he hadn't actively tried to drown him, there was no way Davis could escape justice and no way he could defend his cruel and potentially deadly actions. As River's health improved, it was clear that a profound and beautiful bond had formed between him, Jennifer, and Molly. It was as if they were kindred spirits drawn together by a shared experience and compassion. Jennifer couldn't help but feel that she had been brought into River's life for a higher purpose. Even Molly, despite being a dog, knew that she and River had a special connection that had brought them together. Feeling a strong connection with River, Jennifer decided to make a life-changing and wonderful choice. She couldn't bear to see him go to a shelter after all he'd been through. River deserved a loving forever home, and Jennifer wanted to be the one to provide it. She talked to the shelter and suggested adopting River once he had fully recovered. The shelter staff were thrilled and touched by Jennifer's dedication and kindness. With her dog Molly by her side, Jennifer welcomed River into their family. Molly was excited to have a new friend and showed River lots of love. They played together like they'd known each other forever, strengthening their unbreakable bond. Molly not only gained a playmate, but a lifelong friend who understood her tough journey. Jennifer became an advocate for animal welfare, sharing River's story to inspire others to help. In their small town, she organized events and fundraisers to support local shelters and ensure every animal had a chance at a loving home. Jennifer, River, and Molly were determined to make a difference. What are your thoughts on this story? How would you react if you came across a dog like this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I hope you like this rescue story. Please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. Also subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss the update from our channel. Thank you.